Okay, we're good.
Okay, welcome to the Pontiac Public Library and Oakland University Libraries National Poetry Month Poetry Slam. Let me quickly run through the rules. Each poet is to bring 2 original poems, 1 for each round of competition. There are no warm-ups. Come ready to compete. There is a 3-minute time limit, plus a 10-second grace period to read 1 poem, with 1/2 point deduction for each 10 seconds over. No props, costumes, or musical instruments. 5 judges has been selected for scoring. Scoring is on a 10-point scale. 5 high and low scores will be dropped, giving poets a score of between 0 and 30 points. All poets must sign themselves in by slam time, which just happened. Poets will be allowed to join only between 2 and 2:05. The first 20 will be given the slots, so we have 14.
Yeah.
No profanity. Remember, your audience is made up of all ages. Okay, let's get started. I have the list of poets, and I'll read them in order of how you'll go. 1, Sedusha. 2, Emily. 3, Samina. 4, Jacinia. 5, Abisha. 6, Kara. 7, Tony. 8, Rashawn. That's Rashawn X, isn't it? We don't have the stage names on here. Emily had a stage name too.
Sorry, I did not get all the stage names. I apologize.
Emily, you were going to be Morgan L, right?
Yeah, Elle Morgan is fine. Thank
Elle
you.
Morgan. Okay. I'll have the stage names ready when you go. So number 8 was Rashawn X. Number 9, Ashley. Number 10, Charnette. Number 11, Tracy. Number 12, Julie. Number 13, Qatar. And number 14, Tiffany. So that's the order. So first up is Sudisha. Am I pronouncing that right?
Oh, good afternoon. Yes, you are. It's Odisha Mukherjee.
Okay, Sudisha.
Why may I begin?
You can go ahead and get started.
Thank you. Hey, how do you like your coffee? Soiled and airy, beaten and frothy? Drinking from your old ghetto Pokemon mug? Do you spill it over the laterite of your backyard? Below the stillness of foggy skies, in a thermos? Don't you want to protect your white lungs from the smog? Does that remind you of stillborns or deformities, lies, refuge? From you to me, peace is a memory of something that I've now forgotten. Something about uprooting baby plants and looking into my mother's eyes reminds me of the tricks I play, like anxiety. Children don't grow up, they're just stolen, wrapped up, lapped up, weeded out by the policing hands of sovereignty. God appears to be astute at pagemaker. I've seen unexpected bail sentences appear almost animated with glee, jutting out of factually unbalanced newspapers. Weather reports, mundane and classy, the color of the overcast is the same as that of rich and of blue grief. Boy, you were a serving son. You still think there is hope while multiple souls depart from a single fire. Lifelessness is a throat secret. Absence of air is a throat sickness. Boy, as you say, pass the ashtray and sip wine. Don't you want to protect your pink liver? You should think of the counter-accountabilities. Why are you so thirsty? In a land full of spiky stalagmites and stalactites, without you, this city would not make no sense, nor would I want to learn the language to vow, to tell you, I will love you till you are everything, and I will love you till I am nothing. Thank you. I'm done.
Very good. What was the time, Anne? Anne, what was her time?
Are you asking me? I
No,
didn't
I'm
recognize.
asking Anne. Okay,
1:31:40.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, the judges, will you hold up your scores? Okay, thank you. So we have a score of 25. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up is Elle Morgan.
Hello, thank you for having me. This poem is called More Gasoline Than Girl. I love you like my dad loves our dog, and no, I don't mean I plan to treat you like a dog. I mean that if you let me, I will follow you into puddles, into mud and into roads. I'm not picking up your poop though, just making that clear now. But I will love you like my mother loves Tupperware. And that may sound slightly pathetic, but my mum, she really loves Tupperware. She grew for a week when she lost the lid to her favourite container. Okay, when I lost the lid to her favourite container. And I'll love you like my nan loves sparkly pink toes. Like my grandfather loves people that know to shut up already when they get into his taxi, because frankly, he doesn't need to hear their whole life story. I love you like my little sister Alice loves deliberately not wearing a coat in January just to annoy our mother. I love you like my flatmate loves leaving hairbands all around the house, between the sofa cushions, in the bathroom. It's like she's trying to mark her territory, you know, like how dogs pee on lampposts? I love you like my drunk cousin loves flirting with boys, girls, occasionally lampposts. I love you like my brother loves complaining about the way I stack a dishwasher, like my uncle likes making casually racist comments at the dinner table during Christmas lunch. I know you probably think that sounds rather dull. You see, you were taught that love should be all passion and fire and whatever. But I felt that kind of love before. See, when I was 16, I let a man burn all the way through me until there was no kindling left in my body to keep me warm. Real love, I think, should be more sustainable. I was taught by all the great TV shows and books that relationships should be all fire and destruction. But when he didn't treat me very well, it felt like my fault, but it wasn't my fault. He was like a match that struck against my matchbox heart and then blamed me for the fact that he was now on fire. So when I tell you that I am more gasoline than girl, I don't mean that I want our relationship to be explosive or fiery or anything like that. I mean, I want to keep us going through the everyday. Like gasoline, I want to be the fuel that keeps us both moving. My love will survive fights over dishwashers, mediocre snogging, conflicting TV schedules. It will survive you leaving toothpaste along the sink, just about. My love for you will be built to last, like the strong waterproof boots that my dad wears to follow our dog, into puddles, into mud, and into roads.
Very good. Time, Anne?
2:30:96.
Thank you. Okay, judges, when you're ready, hold them up.
Thank you.
Do you want me to call them out for you, Kath? Do you want me to call them out for you, Kath?
No, I got them, but thank you. That I just have been started going based on where they show up on my screen. So you have a 26.6.
Okay, next up is Samina.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
Missing shadow, broken mirror. If we repeat something again and again and again, its value decreases. Swallow the truth with sugar coat. It seeps into your body, radiating its poison, hollowed every bone, crushing every cell to ashes. I was told that I'm not good, I'm not good, I'm not good. I believed. I buried my innocence in a cascade, swallowed my past life, burnt my wailing dreams. If we repeat something again and again and again, we start believing it's true. I was told to do what others do. I did. Seriously, I did. I believed. I evacuated my castle, crushed the paperboard, tore the sweater I wore. If we repeat something again and again and again, it affects your mind. Hostage of glass chamber of thoughts and restrictions you don't know who imposed, you're compelled to follow, compromising something for no one. I was told that differences existed from birth. I wasn't born with my thoughts. You shaped the pot and made it half hollow. When consciousness entered my mind, it was undernourished, scattered, but it was imperative. Creativity peeped, rose from its grave. I tried to light a match in the rain, but it didn't work. Ambitious creativity survived. Incarnations came alive. If we repeat something again and again and again, it changes our lives. Mind your words. I collected the shattered glass, unlocked my castle, threw away the veil, built paper boats, and wore my sweater. And now I don't believe what words whispers tell. I should follow the screams of my heart again and again and again. Maybe I won't repeat. Thank you.
What was the time, Ann?
1:48:22.
So hold them up when you got them, judges. I can't see yours, Josh. Okay. Okay, thank you. 24.5. Very good. Great job.
Okay, next up, Justinia.
The name of my poem is Damn You Struggle. Some appreciate it, some can understand it, because I can underdog with constant pressure, but no other walks in your place like you. Overcoming my major challenges, you set your tone, but balancing thoughts is a hassle. Craving for peace daily, and specific strategies to break through your circumstances. In fact, it's normal to get ripped into pieces to accomplish your goals without repair. But it won't amount to doing it alone, debt-free, without a solid, no handouts either. Develop raw through soil, because you're meant to be your own hero. And at times it's difficult to comprehend, but your results is your keeper. So what doesn't knock a struggle makes room for progress. Feeling out of function is part of your project. Your audience won't captivate your individuality, but the role of silence is sacred. Only another mind can identify the interior of an enemy. It's rare when someone can initiate your way when you're lifeless, but if a single can lead the road when you've lost your armor, you'll gain hustling skills without inheritance. You'll aim to live a life the past can't keep up with. Thriving like a homeless for ego is irrelevant to humiliation. No one will compare to your humbleness. Ain't no comparison to uniqueness. Those given everything will never comprise the feeling of earning it all from raw. At times, emotions seem overrated since pressure's the field of force. Like the main idea is to escape. Once you blend logic, you maneuver distinctly. It's like your purpose becomes a 3D effect and you're no longer incarcerated with mental blocks from your raising. Thank you for your time.
What was the time?
1:30:02.
Judges, hold up your scores whenever you're ready. Dante, for some reason yours is showing up backwards. Is it 9.2? Okay. So 22.6. Really good. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Abish.
Yes, that's me. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My heart exploded in flames and ashes when I read an email that came into my inbox, which rejected my wonderful audition. It didn't just reject me, but also my dedication and passion for theater. I'd worked so hard on the audition, practiced and practiced, put blood, sweat, and tears into, but it was of no use. I constantly questioned, why was I not good enough to play this role? Since then, I started defining myself poorly solely based on one rejection I faced. I fell to my knees. I cried and cried. There were all sorts of intrusive thoughts in my head that were taunting me and attacking me and trying to make me believe that I will never be good enough. I was so devastated that I wanted to end my life with a full stop, but decided to put a semicolon instead. The heavens sent me an inspirational angel, someone who shined brighter than a star. This angel motivated me and made me realize I shouldn't be feeling so heartbroken. It was just one thing that I wasn't good at yet. I can improve. There's so much more to me than one rejection. So this one experience does not give me the right to start defining myself poorly. So from then on, I realized rejection's actually a life coach. I should use it as a way of moving forward, not as an excuse to give up. At that point, my eyes started shining with determination. I knew if this doesn't work out today, it will tomorrow. I will try again, work much harder, become much stronger. I'm a champion who cannot give up so easily. You are going to see me emerge from the bottom, ripping apart the dark clouds and reaching for the skies. So now, I promise myself to take rejection well. Even if it is really frustrating and disappointing, I learned that rejection isn't the end point. It's just the beginning. So to all who've been rejected, don't lose hope. Keep trying. You'll make it. Thank you.
What was the time, Ann?
2:06:36.
Judges, hold up your score whenever you've got them. Okay, thank you. 22.6. Very good. Thank you so much.
Okay, next, Kara. Kara.
Hello. Okay. Now I ask you, class, who here knows about the Human Rights Act? Red, white, yellow, or black, we all deserve the right to be free from injustice on what we can't control. But how do we speak when we have no own voice in our own poll? I fear the police, but not like others may. I don't worry about ICE or not having the chance to say, I am not guilty. Because in this country, we have the right to a free trial. But if your lawyer thinks your freedom could be in denial, he tells you not to fight, but accept some consequences and not receive your right. And some don't even get that lawyer. They're thrown into jail because we want to control our border. But who are we giving the power? It seems the jobs, wealth, and health go to just the top of the tower. Now I know we are not equal, and no, I don't know your pains, but I know that because of my color, I've received major gains. Because of my class, I have the right to act how I please. I have a dream.
Thank you. That was great. Anne?
5767.
Okay, judges, hold up your scores whenever you have them. Thank you. 22.8. Great job, Cara.
Okay, next up is Tony.
Hello. Hi. Hello. I've decided this is my last voicemail to your phone. I've decided I will no longer subject myself to preparing to hear your voice. I've decided I no longer am acting as if every person is a soup kitchen, because if so, I have been volunteering for such a long time. But you are not in need to be fed by me. Indeed, you are not even homeless. Maybe I've convinced my mind that because you project your sorrows, that you have not found home, that it is my obligation to break my walls down to make a home for you. How choosy you are with the people you choose to lay in. Your fancy choices, you act like you want a bed, but you requested a pool. My stomach, ready to be empty for you to cry into tears I'd only hope was water because I am so thirsty. But all that comes from your eyes is alcohol, which I don't drink. Your words so drunk from your drowning as you try to tell me you're not stumbling, it's only a limp. Your emotions bringing in a tide, and funny, you never asked me if I could swim. And worse, I feel the things you won't say, but you say so clearly. I don't care about you. I only want to tell you everything I'm feeling, to leave it on your phone bill so you can take care of it, pay it off for me. It's a blessing for people to come with you with their prized possessions, but I never signed up to be the shelf you sat them upon. Everything I've done, I would create a holiday just so you can hear happy birthday again. I would fake a search out just so you can feel found again. But you didn't even bring a housewarming gift when you showed up on my porch. But I am not a house, and if I was, you couldn't afford the rent to even breathe here. Not one room you could pay enough to step in. You could never reimburse me enough for every stamp I paid for sending over all these letters asking if you're okay. And funny, I would have paid it all off for one letter from you. Yes, you thought I'd be a house because I was strong enough to hear about how you destroyed yours. Have you never heard of lining your house of extra protection for the storm? Every door opens and shuts. I never signed up to be the revolving door, having a compartment for each of your emotions, how your house is nothing but an empty building. And though you like to call yourself in need of a place to rest and sleep, you don't want to be a part of my kingdom. You just want to take the pretty pictures that hang in my bedroom. You want my laugh to be painted across your sky, to paint the illusion of a sun on a dark night. You want me to answer the question why you are not enough, to bring my happiness to your vacant body and make it whole. But you aren't homeless. You just want to live rent-free in a home you didn't work for and you could never build yourself. This is my last voicemail. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Tony. Very good. Anne, what was the time?
2:43:85.
Thanks. Judges, hold them up. Thank you.
Okay, next up,
25.9. Great job.
next up is Rashawn X.
Can you all hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. My poem is The Eagle. Sitting in the desk in a gorgeous diamond lake, waiting for eagle to take break, I kept waiting to catch their first sight until the blue sky turned to dark night. Unable to catch eagle's glimpse, I turned over to magnificent lunar eclipse. Bright and shiny were her lips as I clicked my Nikon SLR to take a radiant pics. I heard the two opossums hiss, trying to get blissful kiss. All of a sudden, the darkness turned to beautiful morning as I saw the eagles storming through the winds of the mountains, changing their praise in nearby surroundings. Down in the middle of a deep glacial river was a golden crisp catfish with light blue color, who happened to be the eagle's fancy dinner that lasted well over 1 hour in a cold January winter. Full of food was a little eagle, who then flew like a vicious criminal, leaving me alone in the middle of deep river, while I started to ponder if I could be an eagle that flies high in the sky like a fast and furious guy.
Thank you. Great. Anne, what was the time?
1:07:03.
Thank you. And judges, hold them up when you got them. Thank you. Final score, 23.2. Great job.
Okay, next up, Ashley.
Mine is entitled When I Picture Myself. I am an unbendable shape, with the strength of iron, harnessing the fortitude of a titan, delicate as a wheat stalk blowing in the breeze. I am not someone broken. I am decisive and capable, willing to yield, willing to be brazen. I am not a plaything, a toy to be discarded. I forge my own path with no regrets. I am my own advocate. I will protect myself as I see fit. I recognize my limitations, breaking past preconceived notions. I will not be told who I am. I will not be told what I can accomplish. I am a butterfly, flitting to wherever the sun rests. I am an army, battling my demons, a forager of dreams, queen of my thought palace. I will break and rebuild as if it so fits my needs. I am a conqueror of past wrongs. I will not apologize for who I am. I am a mighty being, a tempestuous wind. I lean past the pinnacle of no. I am a bamboo forest. I am an eagle soaring. I am a lion roaring. I am a woman growing.
Great. Anne, what was the time?
1:12:47.
Judges? Thank you.
Okay, next up is Charnette.
24.7. Great job, Ashley.
Sorry. Sorry about that. Next up is Charnette.
My poem is entitled Fight. Gone are the days when you had me bound, shackled in chains, gripped with fear. No longer silent, for my voice I have found. Time to end injustice. Hope I've made myself clear. I work twice as hard, yet promotion goes to another. All my efforts you disregard. Is it because of my skin color? A job well done. You reward me with more work, while to your name my credit be. Then in disdain you wear a smirk, thinking you've played a trick on me. You point me to the laws that govern the land, but due to evil, twisted words, my complaints, they never get heard. A strategic plan aimed at destroying the Black man. Yet despite deceptive tactics, I remain undeterred. Your subtle approach cracks harder than a whip. It charms, it smiles like a venomous snake. But no time for self-pity. Keep a stiff upper lip in the face of adversity. My inner strength will awake. Your sarcastic tone is so belittling, delighting in my failure, like an eagle hunting its prey. But your ignorant derisions on my life will have no meaning, like chaff on a threshing floor. They'll be one day, be blown away. So try hard as you can, but you'll never keep me down. No system, no structure, not even your best game plan. Try hard as you can, but you'll never keep me down. This race I must complete, one my forefathers began. Like Martin Luther King Jr., I too have a dream that a system plagued with injustice will be transformed into justice. Like Maya Angelou, I too shall rise, and though you trod me into the ground, like the dust, I shall rise. Like Barack Obama, oh yes I can. And like Rosa Parks, I shall not be moved. And so I continue to fight for my right. Though dark be the night, there is still hope in sight. Though long and tiring the journey may seem, I know one fine day a change there must be. So I'll fight, I'll fight, I'll fight. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you. Anne, time?
2:45:55.
Judges, whenever you're ready. Thank you. $26.8. Great job.
Okay, next up is Tracy. You're muted, Tracy.
Tracy, you're muted. You have to start unmute.
Sorry. You can hear me now?
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead.
This poem is called Poetry is in Me. Poetry is in me. Poetry is in me. If you look closely, you will see my identity is poetry. I'm the babe that was molded into a sculpture of clay. What I say can clean up a reckless world that doesn't know the right way. My gifts lift the souls of the suffering and solitude into a driven drift. When I speak, I move people's mountain peaks. I use wondrous words to heal hurting hearts so weak. I love to listen to my lyrics and lines. No one can take what is already mine. This gift was made to be divine. I hear those who take poetry for a joke. They poke fun at its value. It makes me feel like I'm about to choke. People like me live for this. We've been through the sad times of bliss. We await for our key and well-kept kiss. I've seen so much as I view females around me. They thirst for a special touch. They never know about love but lust. I behold my generation. They lack motivation. They are unaware of preparation. They have lost their once destined determination. I have to stand tall in order to not fall. With my past failures, I've broken the giant wall. It held me back from giving things my all. You want to stare in my eyes. I may be criticized and despised, but I always rise. I can catch your attention. There are words I decide to mention. My meanings have no bad intention. I cause people to think before they even start to sink. Their soul will take a second blink. My thoughts can never be bought. This is just what I've been taught. It is what I've allowed in my spirit to be caught. I walk in my victory as I make history. You will never quite understand me. I am a marvelous mystery. I am happy. Still, I once cried so many tears from feeling so unfree. Poetry is in me. Poetry is in me. If you look closely, you will see my identity is poetry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anne, do you have time?
149.66.
Thank you. Hold up your numbers, judges, when you have them. Thank you. $26.2. Great job, Tracy.
Okay, next up is Julie.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My poem is called Pomaranja, which means orange like the fruit in Serbian, which is where my family is from. Our family is a web of pilgrims, my mother tells me at dinner. They were pilgrims weeping into the river, frothing with rain and drinking up oranges, the oranges that Baka got for Christmas, squelching with juice and sour and sun. My mom asks if my grandmother would want to read an article about her family. Baka aged too quickly. She watched as pilgrims left iron shoes in the wake of the Danube, her father, the wine-dipping man, sinking like the orange in water, an O on his lips. Yes, she would want to read about those years on the Danube, those rainfalls and sun showers and stinging grief on our eyelids, net of slain fruit on our palms.
Thank you. Great job. Anne, do you have a time?
Yeah, it went a little longer than it should have. I didn't know she was done. 1:15:86.
Okay. Thank you. Judges, when you have them. Thank you. $23.7. Great job, Julie. Thank you.
Okay, our next poet is Qatar.
Okay, thank you. Wait, can you give me like 1 second, please? Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahu Akbar. Islamophobia. Noun. The fear of Muslims, how the word strips off my tongue, just like the murmurs that filled my 6th grade classroom when I was told that we were terrorists. But the airport scanner cannot seem to keep terrorizing us, you see. The waves of its radiation are too familiar. They are identical to the silk lines and hijabs that they call towel heads. Oppressed women, are we so oppressed when we decide to not conform to thin-threaded fabric, that we prefer cotton over latex? There's no need to aim your sword at the woman with skimpy clothing, just like there's no need to aim it at the one with layered clothing, her jewels reflecting to the rays in the sun as she bows her head to the floor in prayer, inhales and exhales the rich soil in the ground and smiles knowingly, remembers that her ancestors of Muslims harvested those seeds in the ground, that even the grass keeps swaying in rhythm. Hold them tight, she whispers in prayer to Allah after seeing the blue pixels when Muslim concentration camps, chains trying to contain belief. But do they know that even when a corpse rots, their tombstone carries a verse from the Quran? Muslim. Noun. The capability to love so much that your faith rolls like a rock on mountains, that it trips on hills and gets tormented by trees. But we are no better, no worse. Our hands hold each other like gingerbreads in unison. And when you look back at the pebbles of dusted rock, your lips swelling from the taste of honey, all you can say is Alhamdulillah. Thank God that no one can take faith away except for faith itself.
Great job. Great job. Ian, do you have time?
Yes, 154:39.
Thank you. Judges, whenever you're ready, hold them up. $25.7. Thank you. Great job.
Okay, our last poet is Tiffany.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my poetry is called Press On. Perspective. Yes, behind me there's a lot of weight, like carrying your luggage with you physically, but with no escape mentally. My count is in a negative, and hearing the negative from my loved ones, speaking of, sometimes you can't tell big dreams to small-minded people. And even though they mean well, they can't even tell from your perspective that they're in the wrong and won't be able to see it at all. I see so much of my physical self-image, doubting myself in my own unhealthy habits, like operating from the outside in instead of from the inside out. Lying in bed, thinking in my head, writing my poem, expressing myself, and I had it with myself. Yeah, and I had it with myself. Ooh, shoot. Expressing myself, and I had it with myself. Oh man, am I allowed to start over or no?
You can start over.
Okay, I'm so sorry. All right. Perspective. Yes, behind me there's a lot of weight, like carrying your luggage with you physically, but with no escape mentally. My count is in a negative, and hearing the negative from my loved ones, speaking of, sometimes you can't tell big dreams to small-minded people. And even though they mean well, they can't even tell from your perspective that they're in the wrong and won't be able to see it at all. I see so much of my physical self-image, doubting myself in my own unhealthy habits, like operating from the outside in instead of from the inside out. Lying in bed, thinking in my head, writing my poem, expressing myself, and I had it with myself, like a wall in front of me, keep pushing forward, like pressing my body against a wall consistently as my tears fall from my face, pressing forward to escape from a place of my own suffering in the midst of something to hope for, searching in a sense of a feeling that is so intense, believing, seeking, because my future is awaiting, pressing forward, giving it my all, pressing forward till the walls fall as I step into the other dimension, breaking through faith, because there is a calling on my name. I'll press on, I'll survive, I'll persevere.
Great job. Ann, do you have time?
Yeah, 232:65.
Whenever you're ready, judges. Thank you. Score is 24. Great job.
Okay, that's the end of round one. We have to tally the scores and decide who moves on to round two.
Well, I have the top 5 scores if you'd like them.
Yes, so should I run into the office?
I can bring them right into you right now.
I can run and get them, hang on.
Okay.
Just a moment while we're getting those scores. And thank you everyone for reading. They were all very wonderful.
So we're shuffling right now and picking the order of the top 5 for round 2. Okay, so as we pull them out, I'll give them to Anne, and then she'll call out the order of the top 5 for round 2. So take a 2-minute break and relax.
Do what? Yep.
We still have another about a minute and a half that we'll wait for everyone.
Yeah, before I read the list. How's it feel, judges? Good? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we're doing good.
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
You're consistent. You're consistent judges. You're a good group. So we've got 5 poems left.
Yep, 5 poems by the 5 poets who will make it to the second round. But I would encourage everyone to stick around. I would appreciate it. You know, we would love for you to listen to your fellow poets and stick around to see how the competition goes. And I want to thank everyone again for attending. This was our first time doing a virtual poetry slam, and I would say I was a bit nervous about it, but it's been turning out very great, and I appreciate everyone being professional and muting themselves when they're not speaking. It's all been really nice.
Yeah, it has been. Are there attendees we can't see, Josh?
There should be 21 participants, but we're highlighting
You should
the
be.
judges.
Yeah, we're highlighting the judges and the speaker, but you should still be able to see everyone. They are in the list of participants, and I can scroll through and see the different
So there's
video.
21 people here watching.
Yep. There's 21 of us here in the Zoom video. We do have some people watching the live event too on Facebook.
Cool. Well, should I go ahead and read the next round?
I think so. Everybody who's in the next round is still here, so it should be good.
Okay, so for round 2, we drew the names out of the 5 people who made it to round 2. So Charnette, Qatar, Elle Morgan, Tracy, and Tony, in that order, will be going next for round 2. So that's the round 2. Charnette, Qatar, Elle Morgan, Tracy, and Tony. Charnette, you're up first.
Okay. This next poem.
Well, hang on a second. Let me make sure we're ready. Are we ready to go yet? We are? Okay.
I think we're good.
Let me start my stopwatch. Hold on. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay. This poem is called This Is Who I Am. A stranger in my own land, a true identity I seek, longing to feel belonged, a grave issue, hence why I speak. Always labeled as an immigrant, good grief, what a cheek. Your ugly insults, your vicious glares, leave me in a peak. Uprooted from my native land, brought here to work, that was your plan. Sunshine to cold, no more beach or sand. To a place where blacks in shops were banned. In 1948 arrived the Empire Windrush. Passengers great and small disembarked in a rush to discover the motherland, but overcome by a deathly hush upon seeing a string of houses like bristles on a brush. Despite racial discrimination, we served the motherland well. In World War I and World War II, many of our soldiers even fell. And like the late Mary C. Cole, to improve health service, we were compelled. The London transport of which you boast, its beginning and end with stories to tell. When we excel and bring fame to your name, your flag you raise high, because you're no head of the game. But should we make a mistake that could extinguish your flame, you tell us, go back home. So how do I fit in? And where do I belong? Should I pretend that you accept me and just simply play along? That would be a disservice considering you've done me wrong. So I will let my voice be heard and for equality stand up strong. So whatever the ethnic group that you've ascribed to me, could never determine, will never determine my true identity, my history, my character, my nature, my genes. This is who I am. You can't take that away from me. Thank you.
Very good. Ian, what was the time?
2:22:49.
Judges, whenever you're ready. Thank you. $26.1.
Okay, next poet is Qatar.
Thank you. Okay, so this is called Bring Education to Fruition. I am the ripe fruit of a tree whose branches were too weak to hold another. My grandmother could not articulate these words for one sole reason. She is a girl born in the wrong place, voice stolen before even conceived. Before holding a book, she was holding a bowl of soup to her father, giving and giving and giving till her arms and knees grew sore from staying in the kitchen. Looking out to the window at dispersed stars, trying to find the letters of the alphabet with every constellation. While her brothers grew, she stayed the same, as if locked into a box that she was born into simply because of what lay in between her legs, the genesis of a man. Her illiteracy is only but a result of a broken system that would rather tend to the wounded egos of men than the life of a bird begging to be heard and seen in the sky. She was asleep when the robbers stole her voice, pulling out the strings of words that were still foaming with exhilaration, stripping her of ribbons of characters. I am what could have been my grandmother decades ago. With the unclipped wings of a butterfly, she is the drink of a broken dream, the song of shattered hope. Now she sits day after day, letting blue pixels reflect on her retinas with monotony, with feet still hot glued to the kitchen floor. But when another girl is born, the fruits of the tree will hang from the branches, inviting a taste, bringing education to fruition. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Ian, time?
1:25:26.
Thank you. Judges, whenever you're ready. $26.7.
Okay, next up is Elle Morgan.
Free from paper chain girls, dedicated to Ali, my baby sister. I'm terrified of becoming a paper girl, a girl that disappears into the night, a girl that ends up in the newspapers, emphasis on the end. I have dreams about faceless blank paper chain women, all lined up in a row like unmarked gravestones. In my dreams, they're trapped together like that, hands blended together, stories and names blended together, Mary Ann Nichols, Wilma McCann, and Sarah Everard. Before I knew better, I used to find the walk home from school dull. God, I really miss finding the walk home from school dull. Now the fear stings like paper cut, persistent and sharp. I fear hands digging into me like splinters. I pretend to read dog-eared paperbacks on trains so men don't try to talk to me. When I was 15, a 50-year-old man on the train pestered me and told me I had sexy legs. I was wearing my school uniform, in case you're wondering. I know you were wondering, already coming up with a theory as to why it was my fault. I fear alleyways. In my mind, those alleyways are coffin-like, wide at the top and getting narrower as you walk down. And if I'm not careful, the lid could snap shut over the sky. Sarah knew the sound of that lid, the sound that reduced her to a headline. Sometimes I dream of her paper hand stretching out towards me, beckoning me to join the rank of those colourless paper chain girls. What's black and white and red all over, in my dreams I'm black and white. I'm trapped in ink, motionless, I am print, and if you fall asleep on the page, my ink image might transfer from the newspaper to your face. You could peel me away and carry me away with you, and I wouldn't even scream. Maybe you'll leave a coffee mark atop of my flat printed picture, circling my photo like a frame or a bullseye. Sometimes I imagine the ink and my blood mingling together on the page. I imagine a nation reading my story, then tutting and going back to their lives unchanged. I'm black and white or red all over, red-handed. I've been sentenced as too promiscuous, too stupid. She was probably walking down the wrong street. She should have just ignored him. She should have said thank you for the compliment. I've been found guilty in the court of public opinion, and those neat little lines of newspaper will form my prison bar. My little sister Ali does not yet fear becoming a paper girl. She's too young right now, but one day I'm going to have a chat with her about where to aim, about why she has to walk home with keys in between her fingers. I just can't bear to do it yet. She's free right now. I can't quite bring myself to cut that time short. For now, I want her to sleep well, free from dreams about paper chain girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And do you have a time?
2:54:45.
Judges, whenever you're ready. $26.8. Thank you, Emily. Elle Morgan.
Okay, our next poet up is Tracy.
Okay, this poem is called Life's Destination. I am an inspiration to the separation of this nation. My motivation is for all participation in society's transformation. What you see before you is determination. My imagination is beyond your expectation. I keep my dedication and fascination toward freedom until I reach life's destination. I knew guys who seemed so good and giving. We weren't meant to melt into our memories for the magic of lovemaking. I didn't believe we should be. My empty, horrific hurt and perilous pain caused relationships of rain. I realized before could rise, I just needed to be faithful friends. I let them go. Even though at terrible taunting times, I felt faithless and fearful for being battered so low. My tempered tears allowed the aroma of ambition time to grow. People ask me, where have I been? I released rejection to redeem myself from love's luring den. I had to relentlessly remove myself from the table of temptation and the sickness of sin. I changed the chapters in my history by healing from all hateful looks. I looked unto happiness like I was part of a holy book. I made up my mind for me to marvel at what I wanted to find. I figured out I was living lost and longing for breath, being blind. You may wonder why I smoothly smile. I desperately decided to pile my purging problems into transgressed trash. I threw it all away to leave my liberating sight for miles. I could carelessly cry when I knew I did try. In my trials, my once sunk soul no longer kneels to negativity to devour dry. Deep down inside, I confronted and conquered my prison of pride. I stopped steadily trying to hide. I have wholesome love to abide. Now I can forever face any kind of resurrecting race. I'm sincerely saved by grace. My misguided mistakes are finally forgotten without a trace. What do you see when you look at me? I mold the mighty movement and magnificent moments. I mended in the mountains and the settled sea. I paint the picture of precious prosperity into a milestone of moral decree. I capture courage into a confined cage for it to graciously grow into a triumphant tree. I sing songs of silk satisfaction and self-esteem. I'm classy and sassy as tea. I repeat rendering words regularly. I want young and old to remember my identity. I talk 10 times louder for loads of my lyrics to linger. In your ear, I may sound like a buzzing bee. What do you see when you look at me? I am a survivor, and I have been set free. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Ian, do you have a time?
Yeah, 2:35:39.
Thank you. Judges, whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Thanks.
$26.4. Great job, Tracy.
Great job. Okay, our last poet is Tony.
Hello. If all is an illusion, let only these words make sense. Let money stay green and blood stay wet. Let Lil be the introduction to everyone's fake name, the attachment of perfections to childhood fun and games. Dolls and babies produce happy times, and I guess they produce happy rhymes. If it undermines the intelligence of humankind, is it really beneficial to anyone's amount of time? The best is all that matters anyway. The words know elementary, and tell half the gang life story, leaving out the cemetery, leaving out the lack of integrity when all your goal is to be heard and not listened to. If Tupac can make me cry, why would I respect anyone else that can make someone shoot? If Kendrick can be a good kid in a mad city, how can I respect a bad one in an educational facility? What the reality is doing is making people reverse their words to make them sound dumber, to make them accurate to the general hypocrisy. If it's enough to understand, it's meant for an asylum, make you spit bars so hard that you end up behind them. And if my skin has been made to define a thief, why would I respect the opposite whose skin represents stolen gear? Government status doesn't make it not contraband, and alabaster skin doesn't mean in contradiction of the law, but what the societal call the three colors ruling the country, brown and black, were never one of 13 stripes and 50 stars. Built on bones of ancestors, sidewalks resembling the tens of thousands of shades of gray of tombstones. If the rhyme goes to say, and it really tells the truth, we've all stepped on some mother's back. Walks home, you think it was the wind that made sound, and realization the whole world is a graveyard underground. How we worship, but we're afraid to become disciples. Why do you think you hear the letter F and 12 littered everywhere among our language disposal? And if a bullet meant anything to anyone, it would mean something to somebody's son. Because if a coffin is only 4 walls and only 2 are twice as long, then it's no lie that it was built to fit 3/5 of a person. And if guns are props and AKs are rifles, if the boy gets shot and he becomes a disciple, if he meets God first and gets a seat at his table, I guess it makes it all just fine and easily justifiable. The divide to pick our skin tones apart in the name of deciding who gets a legacy, the shame because there's beauty in all shades of our rainbow. In the divide of survival, we picked up the instinctual, so now we suffer on the visual. We're convinced that it's more than just a chemical. It's a part of being a millennial, to fall under the critical perspective that one is better than the other, but in the end, they all see us as one color. Black, the crayon used for outline, but little discussion. White outlines mere cracks in the fallen boy's concussion. I'm forever looking for the rainbow amongst this destruction, for me to see a yearbook picture in a yearbook and not the news. So I guess I'm the only one left to tell the truth in the form of beating of black and blues, the underestimation against me, against you. I may be 5'4", I talk like I'm 6'2", educated from the past of long ago misery. The only smarts given 1 month out of 12 is a mockery of Martin's celebrity. Hearts sprinkle a date in the middle of February and the rest go unmarked and they're only surrendering of celebrating Black history. So if all is an illusion and these words mean anything at all, let these words make sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne, do you have a time?
2:54:83.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Judges, whenever you're ready. Thank you. $27.4.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Am I too late to perform?
Yeah, who is?
Michelle.
Sorry, Michelle, actually the final performer just performed in the second round. You needed to be in by 2:05 in order to perform. So we're about to announce the winners of the entire contest. Sorry. Drum roll. Anne is about to tell our winners.
You're muted, Anne.
Is everybody ready? The winners for the Pontiac Poetry Slam, OU Poetry Slam, first place is Tony, getting 27.4 points. And second place is Elle Morgan, getting 26.8 points. So congratulations. Good job.
Josh, will you be able to tell them where they can pick up their prizes? Everyone who was in there today did a great job.
You can pick up your prizes at Pontiac
fantastic
Public
job.
Library from Josh.
Yes, we only have prizes for the first two places. I do have the prizes here at the Pontiac Public Library in Pontiac, Michigan, and I have your emails, so I will be in contact too if we need to figure out an arrangement of some sort. If you can, the easiest thing would be just to pick it up at the library. We do have a curbside service. If you're not able to because of distance, I know some people weren't local, we'll just have to arrange something, we'll figure it out.
Great job. Everyone did a fabulous job. It was so much fun. Thank you all very, very much.
Great job, everybody.
Great job. Great job. Thank you to our judges too. Nice job judging.
Yeah, great job, judges.
All of our judges were volunteering, so we do appreciate their time. I mean, everyone volunteered their time for this today, and I appreciate everyone coming out. Oakland University for partnering with us once again. And this is just always a very nice, successful event that I enjoy doing annually. So
Yeah, it's great. It's great we had the participation we got. That was no accident. Thank you, Josh, for getting all these people together.
We just talk about how amazing this went as a video, as a Zoom call. You guys were fabulous, fabulous.
Yeah, it went well.
and
The
everyone,
technology worked.
well, I think we're probably going to end it here unless anyone has anything else they'd like to add. No?
Excuse me, could I please say something?
Okay.
If it's not too much to ask, would any of the judges would be able to give me some feedback on my poem, please?
Yes, even I would appreciate that a lot.
Most
Same
of the
here.
judges were judging as like a gut instinct, so I don't know if everyone's going to be able to give feedback it was supposed to be based more so just in the moment on what you were feeling. If anyone does really want feedback, if you have my email, if you email me your poem, I will try to provide some written feedback. It's hard for me to remember everyone's poems as they were read, just going through the competition, so.
Josh, we can get you the email addresses of the other judges if they're interested in supplying feedback as well.
Yes, if any judges are interested, they can let me know. Because like, I am willing to do that. Just, I think it's gonna be best coming in writing, honestly. And it'd be easier if I had another like chance to look at the poem, honestly, because there were just so many that it's hard to remember which one everyone read.
And one more thing, is it possible that we could get a participation certificate?
Well, we don't have
Like a
anything,
digital copy?
we don't have anything arranged, but I would be happy to make something up. I can send a participation thing to everyone who was here, because you guys were all very, very good poets. It was really hard, I think, for the judging, honestly. So yes, I would be happy to send you all some kind of digital certificate.
Thank you so much.
This is the highest scoring slam I've ever seen. You guys were all amazing. You were just all that good.
Really?
But I think we're gonna end it there for today. So, like I said, if you want feedback, please just email me and email me a copy of your poem too. That'd be the easiest way to do it. With that, everyone have a good afternoon and a good weekend.
You too. Thanks again, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.